The most important sector to a country's development is the agriculture sector. It is the fundamental backbone to every nation's development. Around the board, the developed countries wouldn't have been developed if they hadn't paid attention to their agriculture sector and not invested and developed their agriculture sector. One may ask, what's the importance, what's the significance of the agriculture sector? Like agriculture sector in the first one, food security. Say your citizens will get nutritious food to eat. They won't go hungry. So they get the strength to be productive and efficient in the nation. 2, the economic contribution to the GDP, the gross domestic product, the benefits, the exports, right? In the agriculture sector, there are cash crops. To say Ghana and your cocoa, your money cocoa, near Yeska deba, your income at the bottom of my what must cotton, coffee, all those things are under agriculture. And when you export this product, you get money into the country. 3, poverty alleviation, like a paper poverty and a G or Yane and which the free war. Major say nipa piano or son of part, they're both remove first air the ubedi. It's a what they will be for the next 10 years and the next 20 years or the next 30 years. How any damn or how pan any damn as a citizen or as a country, if a country has what they will eat for the next 30, 40, 50 years, what is their problem again? So it's kind of like a year poverty in a year and children everywhere. Right? 4, market for the industries. Right? Agriculture sector no. We need raw materials for the industries. Like the industrialization is also an important sector for a nation's development. But without the agriculture sector, or without the agriculture sector having a good foundation, industrialization cannot be possible. What must say? Industrialization cannot be possible until there are so many importance and benefit the agriculture sector brings to a country, to a community, to an individual, to a society, to a continent. Right? So it's it's mind busting why Ghana as a country, Africa as a continent, we have arable lands, we have good lands to produce and farm crops and food. And so no accommodate. Like it be mind busting that we still import food into our country. Whilst we have good weather. Most part of Africa we have good weather. Right? We have arable lands. We have good water supply, like lakes and you will show around Africa or in Ghana here. And irrigation shouldn't even be a problem when it comes to our agriculture sector. Good land to farm shouldn't be a problem. And even we have people who are farming, like we have the human resource to do the work too. So why is it that we are hungry in Ghana, or there are food shortages in this country Ghana, or in this continent Africa? Why is it? On today's episode, we are going to talk about tomato shortage in the country Ghana, right? It's very upset why we still import tomato from Burkina Faso whilst we have the same weather conditions as them. I can even say ours is even better than theirs, but they do tomato production commercially all year round, whilst in Ghana we do it season by season. Now up to now we still import tomato from Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso so they are fighting with jihadists and this terrorism. Nancy Akrapo ya omukochi ya mamefo no nkom kofa tomato e free Burkina Faso abagana kruma. Ye kwa hijack yo mo se ko kidnap yo mo se den e ma ne be nsem pi e no Burkina Faso some of the ban and ma ban themselves from exporting tomato to other African countries or to anywhere. They say they weren't going to export tomato to any other country. They are going to keep the tomato in their country, process it and eat it by themselves. information abeto from the say Ghana buying under Mahama's directive akwa patro akopa Burkina Faso a Chelsea o yesiramo you guys should export or give us tomatoes akopa patro say tomatoes no. Meanwhile, our weather conditions is even better than Burkina Faso. We are not fighting no terrorism in Ghana here. We have the arable lands to farm this tomato. We have the human resource, the farmers. We have the ready farmers to do this. We have good water supply to irrigate the tomato farming. But Ghana for say leaders in this NDC and people will invest into tomato, into the farming sector or to the agriculture sector, so that Ghana won't short food in this country. No, yes sir. Chronosem any career, any corruption, any bribery, any abrasion with mountain. They are important. So our senior brother, Mr. Cyrus Annan of Tuntum Network, has done a video on Ghana going to beg Burkina Faso that they should give us tomatoes. He has done a video on it, and on this episode, we are going to react to that video. I go by the name Niama, and this is New Elite News. If today is your first time coming across my content or your content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button, like, share, comment, so you get back-to-back content from this channel. Let's dive right into it.
Mr. President John Dramani Mahama, why must this continue? I strongly feel that the current NDC government, after 1 year in office, has become lackadaisical. I feel they have lost so much of the passion they had when they campaigned and first won. Our tomato trader,
senior brother, I don't believe they had any passion, or there was some kind of passion. Bro, they wanted a chance to also come and steal from us. That's what they have been doing since Kojoho. MPP back no be kakra. And the NDC opposition no akari degu wasoja ashe MPP for asisa no obomu jasa na MPP for nyo na MPP for nya mo to abane ma ye ba ye be sanya mu amam. We come and change things for you. We will come and bring quality into your livelihoods. Yamo kwan no mo ba omoba no so ma we I said first second year do like omo ye be like they are doing something. They have the interest of the people at heart. They have the interest of the citizens of this country, Ghana, at heart. The next 2 years, now the remaining 2 years, no, we are in kakra. Now, for so, as we just no, bomb just sana, and this for Yamu, and this for Yama, Ghana for, that is what they have been doing to us. They are the same people, NDC, MPP, they are the same people. So I don't think they had the interest of the people at heart. They wanted a chance to come and steal from us too. It's a no when you bring a more campaign now. Hey, and I before you want to about my more yaba, you better send me, you better see.
Shield en route to buying the produce from Burkina Faso, and even that was still not enough reason for this government to finally consider getting into the production itself. Even that couldn't still change their mind. We are importing from Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger tomatoes from these countries that are dealing with a lot of terrorist issues. Even in their terrorist issues, they are still able to grow these crops and have excess to ship to us. Isn't that shameful, ladies and gentlemen? Somebody make this make sense.
Very, 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 very shameful.
This our country Ghana, this country Ghana has in fact bought into the idea of playing games with the most important economic indicators. It baffles my mind every single time, ladies and gentlemen. Our politicians, without a doubt, have had the best in political, economic, and social stability that should have allowed us to develop way faster, ladies and gentlemen. And time and again, they take these opportunities for granted. Whereas other African countries are struggling with terrorism or coups or tribal conflict or some form of political instability, our politicians in Ghana have had decades to enjoy a peaceful political atmosphere for which they could have done so much, and yet they turn every single one of these opportunities into playing political gimmicks. Ladies and gentlemen, for 32 years, we've had a solid, stable political atmosphere. We've successfully run elections and changed government with very minimal challenges. Very, very minimal. From the time of Jerry John Rawlings till today, our politics have been consistent with peace and stability across board. This is something.
Kudos to us. Kudos to us. That one I commend. You see, the fruit we are planning the piano. It's if we are able to conduct elections from one time, Jerry John Rawlings time, now Mr. Saros in Kenya to now, not still now, we have peace in our country. Kudos to us, bro. Good thing, we should keep that thing up. We should keep it up. But what we are asking now is government or our so-called leaders, which me, by the way, I call them criminals and thieves. They should just, at least, we are not asking much from them. We are not asking more from them. We are just asking for the basic things, right? Like food, good health sector, good education sector, good transportation sector, good roads, right? We are not asking for them to come and give us money or come put money in our pockets. What we are asking is just basic needs for us to just be comfortable. We are not asking for them to make us thrive, right? We are not saying we want to thrive in our lives. We just want comfort. Basic things that will make our lives comfortable for us, which we deserve because we are paying taxes in this country. We are paying taxes in this country, and yet say you are taxes, so we deserve it too. And we voted for them for them to give us that kind of quality of life. So we deserve that too. We deserve it.
Not relatable to many African countries. And all we are doing, ladies and gentlemen, all we are doing with that peace of mind in this country is marking time.
Politics.
Mr. President John Dramani Mahama, why must this continue? According to a publication by graphic.com, Ghana every year spends on the average $400 million on tomatoes imported from Burkina Faso. Wow. This was realized in April of last year. $400 million
tomatoes only.
In tomatoes imported from Burkina Faso, ladies and gentlemen. We gladly and happily give out so much of our money for things we could have easily produced right here. And when the opportunity finally comes for this government of the day, this government to take the step at permanently resolving the problem, they instead go back and renegotiate terms. Our tomato traders got killed en route to buying the produce from Burkina Faso. And even that was still not enough reason for this government to finally consider getting it.
These people don't think about us. They don't think whether we live or die or survive. They just don't think about us. And I say, it's your own people too. It's our own people too. So I don't know. Don't they have families? Don't they have family members who are also into these tomato businesses? Say obi trake mu ekọ Burkina Faso o maame o papa o nana busuani bi o cousin bi trake mu akọ Burkina Faso ekọ to tomato ni ekunu because terrorism ekọ so Burkina Faso ni akidnap ni ekunu just like that so ekọ to tomato sabeton okroma etuni ayam shishane adwensa cha say tomato is better maybe okroma. We can produce the tomato just as Burkina Faso are producing the tomatoes. Why don't we invest that money? That 400 million a year to tomatoes from one. Why don't we invest it in this country? Invest it to our farmers here and produce the tomatoes for ourselves. Any loss of lives. And when our mothers, our fathers, our cousins, our relatives, our friends are going on a route to buy tomatoes from Burkina Faso to save lives, they just don't think about our lives. Say, bro, and they want to
into the production itself. Even that couldn't still change their minds. It sort of appears our leaders are just comfortable. I mean, they just don't think about everything. So long as it brings them the taxes and duties, they are comfortable. They will sit back, allow for people to import these things and collect their taxes and import charges, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's happening. Before I started making content, I had a discussion with a politician. I asked him, Why don't you guys pursue the corrupt politicians who have stolen state money and wasted resources? Why don't you go after these people when you have used that message in your...
I've been asking this question. I've been asking myself this question for so long time. Bro, why don't... See, NDC, when NDC was in opposition and we were campaigning, they were like, yo, mutu abane maye, yeah, ba, MP form ya corrupt, MP form di, or my skinny nya, you bet you money to jail all of them. And we had hope, we trusted these people and we voted for them. 1 and quarter years, and so news about cases about people have stolen state funds. See NSS woman here, or what we are NSS for Sika. Money that needs to be paid to NSS people. Nipa baako, our few people at Nesika so, Edisicano. Munjeli nipa na. There's this word, what was the word? There's this term on the first answer saying, my jatum says can my Tio. Almost Mamma Jatum says can we but Mamma see, Yaman Quine on chess can crack. Why shall pass me a cost or my mom? I've forgotten the term. Now I become Brofum, Guasia Brofubia betraying. What people are dying, people are dying. People's lives are being destroyed. And it's a guy, but see, I see a 700 cities, 800 cities, and do 1K po. Say do 1K po, crana, and it's not even enough. It's not even enough. Nani pabako, 1K adama unya for a whole month, no. Or sit that, ne farmano, medicicano. Or no, numia de day, or no, nim what good life is. Namun change, but mujeli and nipana, namu. Mo season the properties na mo turn na mo fa shares kan muma ya mo se nipa no se wajatum se oyo kronfo wajatum so yes kan dey but yama no kan ontua Ghana youth man so ran you don't fight for this country na mo se you jakpa you better abo maba if you jakpa go where ba you better abo maba mo ko America better abo maba mo na mo try come let's fight let's put our leaders on their toes, let's ask them the relevant questions. Those who are stealing, let's jail them. And this is do jail all these MPP people, but they are still walking around freely.
In your campaigns, why don't you do it? And to my surprise, he said this: if you are busy eating, why would you be thinking of yesterday's food, which is almost eaten up by someone?
Wow,
I was like, what? He said, why would you be chasing after money someone may have already used up? When there's fresh money at your disposal.
Yes, and also,
if you understand what I mean.
Yes, and also no. Each way they come steal from the people, from the state. Charlie.
Because while we the people are voting in hope that politicians will work in our favor, they are looking at things in a completely different angle. And I feel the same situation is relatable to this tomato issue. I strongly feel that the current NDC government, after 1 year in office, has become lackadaisical. I feel they have lost so much of the passion they had when they campaigned and first won. If this issue had been raised to the current president while he was in opposition, if it had been raised to him, I know exactly what his answer would have been. He would have likely said this: when he wins power, he will immediately set up a committee to establish a system to get Ghanaian farmers all the needed inputs, including lands and equipment, to start producing the tomatoes locally and immediately. He would have said this, ladies and gentlemen. And he would have referenced the money we sent to Burkina Faso every year in his speech. I promise you, this would have been his answer. And that would have been a solid statement or answer to provide. But today, he's president, and the problem is at its peak. And we aren't hearing anything concerning a domestic solution. As a matter of fact, the NDC in opposition had something called Feed Ghana program in their manifesto. Feed Ghana program. And I remember at one time, listen to Sami Jamfi break down this policy beautifully. In that policy, they had something called AETA, Agriculture for Economic Transformation Agenda. It is a nationwide farmer service centers, where it is supposed to establish in every district to provide farmers with access to tractors, planters, plows, seeds, and fertilizers, ladies and gentlemen. This was a comprehensive plan by the NDC government in opposition to boost food production, reduce reliance on food imports, and supply raw materials to local industries. And it was supposed to begin in 2025. We are in 2026. Sami Jamfi, what happened to this program?
This is where I have a problem with the citizens of this country, and I have a problem with the media too, the journalists and what have you. Because when these people make these promises and make these statements in their manifestos, in their campaign policies, Ghanaians don't ask the relevant questions like, how are you going to proceed with this policy? Then I'll be here to make this policy a success. Where are you going to get the funds to fund this policy? Right? We don't ask these questions. And even if we ask them, we don't ask them into details. Okay, for example, Ebia Mahama, CEO, okay, maybe 24-hour economy, maybe 24-hour economy. First question, so bisa say, Mahama, Mr. President, Excellency, and how are you going to do this 24-hour economy? Oh, maybe Sika say Ebeshaha into this industry to produce more, so that I'll employ more youth to work more around the clock. Some will do 8 hours and will do close, another shift to come. The next question should be, if an Akunye says, where are you going to get our funds to start or do this 24-hour economy? Oh, yeah, the taxpayers' money. No, besides the taxpayers' money. Which part of the taxpayers' money? And I would offer ADIS Ardian. Right? Which part of the taxpayers' money? And I would offer ADIS Ardian. Now, oh, yeah, gas, scanning your free gas. And I mean, okay, Mama, I tell you, scan also scanning your free gas now, the 24-hour economy, right? What do I find it? Okay, don't was saying, and you would be funded. And more percentage send out that funded. Right? And 25 economy so bad. How many years? Like how many years now I started that policy, that program? And how are you going to sustain that policy or that program? That initiative? How are you going to sustain and maintain it? There are very important questions and relevant questions that we Ghanaians, we the citizens, we should ask these people when they come telling us all these promises and all these lies in disguise. These are some of the important questions our journalists, our media people should be asking them, but near John was
on the day you broke it down, where you broke the whole thing down step by step, did you actually mean it, or you only said it to make the NDC look attractive at the time? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm confused. Our president has had enough of the goodwill and the support. This our country can do so much with the resources we have, ladies and gentlemen. It's time we press on him to get the fundamentals right. This tomato challenge.
That be the thing, bro. That be the thing. And when you tell some citizens in this country, they will be like, you do the same thing. You will steal from the states. Position, you steal from the states. And Mahama and the president is doing his best. Understood, he's doing his best. But the fundamental things, the necessary things, the basic things that needs to be done should be done. And it's no rocket science. Any rocket science, bro. It's not rocket science. It's something achievable. It's something attainable. Right? And it is this responsibility to do it too for us. Because yet your baby, right? Yet your baby, on a say, yo, you guys should give me the mantle, give me the power. I can do this, I can do that. It's about the center, you must have power. Now, I don't know when you just, what should I say? Also, basing you, but I don't know when now people will be like, yeah, I'm doing my best, he's doing his best. Or, what kind of master power you steal from us? This doesn't make sense to me, bro. Ghana, I don't know whether it's hypocrisy, whether it's ignorance, whether it's lack of knowledge, because Bible can lack of knowledge, my people perish. I don't know what's wrong with the people, the citizens, and the leaders, and with our systems in this country, bro. And Charlie, your muscle
cannot be a continuous problem when we have so much idle lands and rivers flowing freely into the sea. Ladies and gentlemen, the president cannot be busy with everything else and forget the very basic need of Ghana. That is our food.
See, it's now your Obama presidents or our ministers, right? Or agriculture minister, or wine minister, or wine minister. So, the ministers because definitely presidents in point manage money here. It's not our ministers. So why aren't the ministers doing their work? If you're a president, now if you have the interest of the people at heart, now who born who age money here, now who say ministers and I'm calling for no money, sack them. Why can't you just sack them? Meanwhile, you allow them to still to be incompetent, and who you are a catcher say you did your best. We shouldn't blame you. Yamasu.
Our full security must be guaranteed. In the interim, listen, on the face value, it may sound smart on the part of the president to go and negotiate with Burkina Faso to continue selling the tomatoes to us. It looks to us to prevent any type of food inflation. It may.
And most citizens, most Ghanaians have this mentality, say, oh, Mama, I had it. Say, wako patch Burkina Faso, tomatoes. I'm not saying that Ghana shouldn't trade with other nations or other countries in Africa or any part of this world. That's not the point. The point is, I believe that what you don't have is what you seek for or you ask or look for, right? And say, as I said, baby, Ghana, it means do apples or chroma, and how do you apples ain't me fifi. Now you importing apples, it's understandable, it makes sense. Meanwhile, it means do bunch, or chroma, but you know wherever you plant bunch do ebe fifi, ebe bo kama amount, right? Near see or abi, do bunch no chroma. Saudi Arabia, air desert, I want me to bunch no. One year say a quarter bunch is free. But because Saudi Arabia, I find ways and means to produce the cassavas. What and make sense? One agreeansa and one of the be sounds are the leaders in Guapomo. Do they even think? Is it say I brought an answer? They are ignorant or they don't even know their work. They don't know what to do to help develop this country or what? Because it doesn't make sense to me. Say Ghana Chroma, it's me tomatoes for a year. As you see, tomatoes no. And I investing into the tomato produce or farming. Meanwhile, Burkina Faso where they number one, number two terrorism. But they have found a way to plant and produce the tomato on a larger scale. It's from but one it doesn't make sense. One I can't fathom why people are even supporting these people when these leaders are doing things like this. They should just let it make sense to me. Mr. President, Mr. Mahama, His Excellency, all due respect, please and please, come and make it make sense to me. Is it that when we plant the tomatoes in this country, Mr. President, so make it make sense to me, sir. Why don't we invest in that sector, but rather also come back to go and back Burkina Faso?
There is no bigger plan coming afterwards. There is nothing coming. The Feed Ghana program is not coming. If it is, when is it starting, ladies and gentlemen?
It's a lie, bro. It's a lie. Promises, like empty promises. That was it, bro. And everyone wants to say Ghanaians keep voting for MPP NDC. And bro, is this a Ghanaians what's the word? Is it Stockholm syndrome? Is this a Ghanaians on this Stockholm syndrome thing? Because these people are treating us bad, but we are still loving them. Ghanaians still love these people. Somebody will even tell you say he can die for MPP, he can die for NDC. Somebody can even tell you say the Ojan besi NDC and MPP was saying to Obama no better Obama is how Ojan and Akokono. Is it Stockholm syndrome or what? Are we suffering from Stockholm syndrome? Let it make sense. Ghana youth, citizens of Ghana, please let it make sense to me because I don't understand. I can't fathom this kind of mentality, this kind of reasoning. Is it say Munim de so? Or you're ignorant, or it's yayamujuju. Like these people are blind for demo. Like Oma some kind of hex and spell on you guys. Like bro. Is this the Juju because I can't understand. And the leaders too. What how do you guys even think? Most of them they are bro any bay and I said dang. Say Ghana it's just tomato money ye. As you said that we invest in that. We bro.
When is it going to kickstart? We are importing from Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger tomatoes from these countries that are dealing with a lot of terrorist issues. Even in their terrorist issues, they are still able to grow these crops and have excess to ship to us. Isn't that shameful, ladies and gentlemen? Somebody make this make sense to every one of us.
Let it make sense, bro. Let it make sense.
When we are in opposition, we talk big all the time in opposition. And the moment the chance is finally given to us to act, we become slow and uninterested. Where is the urgency in this government to resolve this issue for good? Ladies and gentlemen, I like John Dramani Mahama. I love the man, and I appreciate a lot of the things he's doing. I've mentioned several of them on this platform already. I think he's...
See, starting when it came to power, 2025, right, January. Oh, no, yeah, they're like, but you know, I be saying, why I say, bro, I thought, say, Yaman the second chance, no. He has learned from his mistakes. He's now going to do better. And I think he's doing better, like he's doing his best, right? But the problem is, the problem still, we can't deny the problem too. The problem is the fundamental things. Please do the basic and fundamental things. Foundation, if the foundation is good, the building will start. But, say foundation, won't see foundation is strong here. Now say, I'm a pillar. One I make sense to me. Yet to Chroma, basic IT and crap. Most youth and most people of this country are not familiar with the basic IT operations. Meanwhile, Jessica, that was last week or last 2 weeks. Parliament Jessica said, AI boost. They are going to invest into boosting AI in the country, in the system. Meanwhile, you have to come on a bar power, NDC bar power. Almost 1 million coders will say 1 million one. Sam George ever push this agenda. So, I'll be training 1 million youths to become 1 million coders in this country. I've registered to that program. Ever since the young baby Akosi, it's what's like Cascafo for us AI boosting in this country. Meanwhile, even average Ghanaian youth is not even familiar or experience or expect in common IT and these things, operations. Most of AI. And now, Brody Bay, and then Chronobo, I'm person Ghana Maya. Does this even make sense?
Way better than the previous guy. But there is so much more to do, and he's capable of doing them. Bro. It's not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. The problem with our local farmers has to do with our comparative prices against what's imported from Burkina Faso. If you didn't know, we have many farmers, tomato farmers here, who produce the same tomatoes and don't find buyers because their prices are either higher than the ones imported, or they produce in the same abundant season where these market queens have already made down payments to producers in Burkina Faso. I've researched this, ladies and gentlemen. And these tomato queens, who are the heads of the importers, will tell you this. They cannot depend on our local producers because in 1 year, they may produce the tomatoes. And then the following year, ladies and gentlemen, they don't, or complain of bad weather or pest or flood or some form of catastrophe. These are the challenges, Mr. President. If you have too much on your hands, please delegate, Mr. President. If you have too much on your hands, please delegate. I am available and willing, if you are willing. With 150 million US dollars of investment and 10,000 hectares of both open and greenhouse farms, ladies and gentlemen, I, Cyrus, will personally lead the campaign, the program to make Ghana a self-dependent country in tomatoes in a matter of 3 years. I promise you this. What I will need in addition to these two investments is a dedicated national TV channel. Yes, you heard me right. A dedicated national TV channel, because I will need a TV channel to cover everything on the farm, because Ghanaians will have to see in real time where their money is and what's being used for and how things are shaping up. Ladies and gentlemen, I lived in China for 5 years and learned how the communist government of China conscientized their people with the work of the government. It was deliberate. The Chinese government deliberately showed all their projects, the national projects, on dedicated national TV channels 24/7. The people see what's going on every type of national project, and that's how they build the confidence of their people in their government. They allow the people to see it every single day. We can do same here. We do not need to ship money to anywhere for anything we can produce here, especially when it comes to farm produce. Mr. President, this is not too hard. You have a lot of goodwill right now. Let it count for more than you are doing right now. Currently, you are doing a lot, but you could do so much. And I hope this message actually finds you. I'll end it here. Cyrus and
His Excellency, Mr. President John Dramani Mahama, my father, my godfather, my grandfather. Please and please and please. I hope this message finds you. And we all want the betterment of this country. We all want Ghana to be great. We all want Ghana to be a developed country, so that the citizens and all of us will be comfortable and have peace of mind. Father, please. Father of the nation, please. Mr. Cyrus Annan of the Tuntum Network has thrown a challenge to you, or is willing to serve this country, right? If possible, I don't think he even wants to be paid. Yeah, and me personally, don't pay him now, right? Don't pay him now. But he says with $150 million, if I'm right, $150 million, right? With whatever acres of land he mentioned, he can make sure, or you make sure Ghana will be what? Like once a bunch of tomatoes there, like it won't be a headache or a problem again. So, Mr. President, if you have a lot on your hands, right? If your agriculture minister is incompetent, well, just this small sector of the agriculture sector in the country, just dedicate this small tomato sector to Mr. Cyrus. Let him do it, and let us see. After 5-10 years, so but anybody will appreciate him. Or after your term, if he's able to do it after your term, that's when we appreciate him or we pay him. Right? It's coming a bit every month. As say all serve your mind, move on to. Right? So woman this sika any acres of land, yeah, also official. Now so to me, yeah, man, yeah. But oh yeah, no more the motion now, woman is grass and then yeah with the man. Right? But for now, no because or no so the pay obey, right? Right. But Mr. Cyrus Annan, please and please and please, let me ask you this, because I think it's very important. If the government should give you all this amount of money and this amount or hectares or acres of land and the TV station, a dedicated national TV station, all what you want to produce these tomatoes, how long will it take you? Will it take you a year or 2 years or 3 years, right? And how much produce should we be expecting annually? And how much money should we be expecting as a country from the tomato production that you'll be doing, if given this chance or if given this opportunity to prove yourself? Mr. Anna, I think this is very important for me to ask on behalf of the citizens of this country and the government of Ghana and the nation as a whole. I think it's very important. Number one, how long would your farm, or how much years will it take you for we to be seeing produce, or for we Ghanaians to be getting produce from your farming, if given the opportunity to prove yourself? And number two, how much produce would we be getting from it? Number three, how much money would we be getting if about we are exporting some, or we are industrializing and commercial? How much money or income would the government or would the country be getting from your produce if given that opportunity? I think it's very, very important, Mr. Annan. So I'll be very glad if you could answer these questions to Ghanaians, not only me, and to the government, right? And I'm very glad. I would like to hear from you, Mr. Annan. And Mr. President, as I said earlier, if this message gets to you, please do this, or give this man that opportunity to prove himself to the nation and to you and to the government. And after that, after we will now, you will say, okay, why know it's of importance, or it's of significance, or it has bring positive to the country. One number two, you appreciate him, right? So let's continue.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and click on the bell for more of my videos. God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. I'll see you in the next one.
Strong.
It is bye-bye for now.
Thank you, Mr. Anan. Thank you, Mr. Saros. And if today is your first time seeing his video or my video, go subscribe to his channel, Tuntum Network, TOONTUM Network, NETWORK. Go subscribe to Mr. Saros Anan Tuntum Network on YouTube and follow him on all social platforms too. I think it's on TikTok too. Go follow him on TikTok too. The same Tuntum Network. Search and follow him. He normally does videos on politics, governance, and business and lifestyle, and right, and talks about Ghana, right? Which I think is very important that every youth in this country should pay attention to this man, because he brings what we don't see to the surface, right? I've subscribed to his channel. I love watching his content. I love watching his videos on his channel, because I get to learn day in, day out. Anytime I go on his channel, I get to know of history. I get to learn of what's happening, the current happenings in Ghana, in Africa, and the world at large. So go subscribe to his channel. You enjoy it. It's a great experience on his channel. And also, please remember to subscribe to my channel too when you find value in my content too. Right, I do lots and different content on my channel. I do entertainment. I don't do politics. I do what's best for Ghana and Africa. That's the content I do. I don't do politics, right? I'm passionate and patriotic to this country, Ghana, and to Africa. So anything of importance to this country and Africa, anything that brings development, right? I'm in it. It concerns me too. I'm passionate about it too. So please hit the subscribe button, as I said earlier. Like, share, and comment. If you have any suggestions or anything you need to share, comment under the comment section. And hope to catch you on this episode. It's Niama on another episode of ULA News. I'm out.